The following is a Joel Michalec production. On November 13th, Felix Unger was asked to remove himself from his place of residence. That request came from his wife. She asked him to leave because he wouldn't listen to the Joel Michalec Show.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It's the Joel Michalec Show. Welcome to the podcast. I am Sharen, and
I am Joel. I guess we're playing role reversal today.
well, we can.
No, that's not.
All right. I'm Joel.
Because you do you so well.
Wow.
You do.
Wow. Well, hey, thanks for coming back to the podcast, everybody.
Absolutely.
We have some things, some business things to mention before we get into what we want to get into.
Okay, go ahead and mention them.
Whatever it is we want to get into. So, first of all, joelmichalec.com. That's the website. Now, there's a couple extra things going on at the website.
Really?
One of which is on the homepage, there is a button that says 24/7 stream, and that is exactly as it sounds. That is our program streaming 24/7.
Wow. Check you out.
On the Reality One Radio Network.
Check you out.
So if you cannot wait between weeks, between episodes on your favorite player that you subscribe to, guess where? At joelmichalec.com.
What?
Then you can stop over there and click 24/7 stream.
Shut up.
And you can scream.
Scream.
Scream while you're streaming. You can stream the shows on whatever device.
That is fantastic.
It is fantastic. And our thanks to Tony over there at Reality One Radio. You can listen practically with any device.
Thank you, Tony.
There's not an app, but
thank you, Tony.
You just point your browser, and it goes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Now, also, Tony also threw in another little thing. He pulled something out of his hat, and I think this was more for you, because the way you were complaining about the length of the name at joelmichalec.com. So literally now, on Facebook, our Facebook is at JM Talk. Well, now you can go to jmtalk.net.
What?
And it will get you to the same place as joelmichalec.com. So I think he did that for you.
jmtalk.net.
Yes. So lots of stuff.
Likey.
Lots of neat stuff happened this week.
Wow.
While we were in between podcasts.
That is fantastic, actually.
So jmtalk.net.
jmtalk.net.
Facebook is at JM Talk. Twitter is still at WQYB Radio.
And that means?
What does what mean?
WQYB Radio.
You always whisper it. I don't need to say it. I don't need to say it because you're always whispering it. So that's the business end of what's going on.
Yeah.
So feel free
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Tony is amazeballs.
And yesterday, see, do not disturb what? What do not disturb?
Right.
I brought the iPad in here because some of the material is on there if we need it. And we put it in do not disturb mode because there's no silence switch like there is on an iPhone.
Yeah.
And so we put it in do not disturb, and it just disturbed me with the game sound.
Right.
So that means in about 13 or 14 minutes, the cows are going to be mooing up in here.
Wow.
So, anyway.
The cows will be a mooing.
I have the volume turned down, and we put it in do not disturb.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Anyway.
You're just going to have to turn your notifications off. Like I told you to do the first time.
What? There's no off. Anyway, we were going to get into some home ec, I guess, in a way of looking at it, maybe.
Yeah.
Home ec.
Yeah.
So
maybe a little bit.
So a couple weeks ago, I was making a joke on the show. We talked about how we go shopping, and we're talking about Walmart and how we changed Walmarts,
Right.
and it's much better, folks. But I was saying that we shop every 2 weeks, and then we go to the store every day in between because we didn't pick up what we needed for dinner or something to that effect.
Right.
And the reality of it is every day we will be on our way home in the afternoon around dinner time saying, so
what do you want for dinner?
What do we want to do for dinner?
And that drives me, can I just tell you straight up, that drives me absolutely insane.
Well, it drives me a little insane, too.
No, I'm just saying that you cannot provide dinner for me without me having to say, hey, this is what I want. I'm playing.
Well, the funny thing is...
But seriously, though, I mean, it drives me nuts that we have to, come up with a last-minute plan.
Well, for a couple of months, we did have... we still have the calendar. We have a Google calendar called Meal Plan. And for like 2 months straight, we had it mapped out. And we followed it.
Like
we shopped to it.
Yeah.
And we did it.
Right. I mean, for 2 months, we knew what we were having for dinner each night.
Right. And we almost had no repeats.
Right. Which was also amazing.
Yeah. So, but then what? We started it last year. I figured it out. We started it in March.
Okay.
And went into April with it. And then what happened after that? Boom. The summer season's here, so we're down the beach.
True.
And that will mess up a calendar because
but it
then we're down the beach going, what do you want to have for dinner? What do you want?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So what we do is we incorporate. We plan the meals and
regardless of where we're at.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Regardless.
Exactly.
Irregardless.
And my voice. What is going on?
I told you to save the voice for the podcast.
I didn't talk all day.
You were out there talking to the flowers. So
I didn't know you heard.
so we did this for a little while, and we have to get back to it.
We do, but
I think today we need to start getting back to it.
The reason I think that you brought it up was because we want to know from you guys out there if when you were growing up, did your parents do this? Plan your meals, like on a weekly basis for their shopping or a monthly basis? Or were your parents, hey, what do you want for dinner tonight? Oh, I don't know. How about peanut butter and jelly? Oh, okay. Well, peanut butter and jelly it is. You know what I mean? Was it like that?
Who are you imitating there?
Just anybody. Just anybody. I wasn't imitating anybody in particular. But, yeah, so let us know.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, when I'm talking about when I was a kid, back when we had to chisel out our dining room tables. So my parents, maybe it's because I didn't really pay attention, but every night we got to the dinner table and food was there.
Yeah. Did they?
You know what I mean?
Did they have these arguments?
It? Right.
Yeah, or not arguments. Did they have these discussions?
Right.
At 3:00 in the afternoon? I don't know.
Now I know for a fact my mother had menus planned out every week, and she had it written down on a calendar on the refrigerator. So she would use that for her shopping list also.
Well, and I'm trying to think. We've been together a long time, and I'm trying to think when the girls were girls, when the girls were growing up.
Instead of boys.
Did we have a plan? I don't even remember.
No.
Okay, we didn't have a plan on a calendar or anything, but
no.
What did we do? Did you just decide every night?
Yes.
Well, see, that's.
And I refused to do it, and now here we are. We're like, what do you want for dinner? I don't know, George.
Why don't you go back to doing what you were doing then?
Why should I be the only one trying to figure out what I want for dinner? If it were up to
If
me.
I left it up to you, I would not be eating here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Holy moly, no way. Yes, point well taken. Back to the calendar today.
Yeah, right?
So, but yeah, I mean, we don't know what our parents did. Did they make the decisions on the fly? I mean, you go out and you food shop weekly or bi-weekly, however you do it, you're shopping.
Right.
So that's become a routine, I think. I think you just go out there and you go, okay, we need this, we need that, we need... When we're shopping, I plan more for my lunches at work.
I know.
Than we do for dinner.
See, he admits it on air.
Well,
he cares more about himself.
Anyway. So, yeah, I don't know.
But no, we do have to get back to planning our dinners and, for the month. We have that calendar. Let's use it.
And we have dozens of cookbooks.
Oh
We
my
have
God.
canisters of recipes from the
so
old...
many cookbooks.
2-3 generations worth of recipes.
Yeah.
And we do nothing with it. I pulled a cookbook the other day, and I was reading it today, and it's called the Slovak American Cookbook.
Right.
And, here's the thing. Like, when I go into it, I expect to see all Slovak recipes. Now, of course, I'm Slovak and Italian and English. Whatever my mother was, I think it was Italian, English, Scottish, whatever. My father was full-blood Slovakia, Czech. So, but as you know, I relate more to the Slovak side, and we eat recipes, geared that way. So I'm looking at this book, and I read the preface for the first time, and it's this like a ladies' auxiliary in a Catholic church somewhere back in 1952 that wrote this book.
Oh, wow.
So it fails to have a lot of Slovak recipes in there.
Right.
Like, it talks about the traditional Christmas Eve dinner. It talks about the traditional Easter morning breakfast.
Oh, wow.
But then when you're going through for the recipes, there's chili con carne, 5 different ways, Texas chili,
right.
how to make tortillas. I'm like, whoa. I go back to the index. I'm like, where's the sauerkraut soup? It's not there.
Right.
So I feel a little ripped off.
If you were making sauerkraut soup,
you wouldn't be eating here.
I would not be home here.
But it sounds so good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yes.
No. I don't think so, Scooter.
But I just feel a little ripped off from the book. But all the times I flipped through it wondering, today I read the preface. And it was just recipes by all these ladies over the years, and they put it together to sell this book. So that's why there's a lot of non-Slovak cooking in this Slovak American cookbook.
But
it does tell you how to make pierogi and some other things. Rushki, 7 different ways.
Yeah.
I
like Rushkis.
So, but we do have dozens of cookbooks. We have the Jewish American cookbook. We have cookbooks that
we have
tell
the
you
American cookbook.
we have our own binder of our own recipes.
Right.
And we have books that tell you how to make restaurant ripoff, like duplication of restaurant recipes.
Right.
We never use these books. Very rarely.
Because I don't like cooking with a recipe.
Why?
Because I like to be able to finagle my recipes.
Well, you can do that with cooking. What's the saying? What's the saying?
Cooking is a blank when baking is a science.
Cooking is an art.
Oh, okay.
Baking is a science. So you have the bacon part right.
Yes.
Bacon!
Baking.
Oh, yeah, bacon, not bacon.
But anyway, it's not that I hate recipes. I like recipes in the sense where I like to know what's in a meal. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't always follow the measurements.
You know what they had in this cookbook? Several recipes called barbecue ground beef, which is obviously Sloppy Joe's. Just an FYI. Because, back in the 50s, they weren't cracking open cans of Sloppy Joe mix, just that ground beef.
Wow.
They had to make this stuff. So just
that is cray-cray.
Yeah, FYI. Yeah. So we are going to get back to a calendar.
Yes.
Try to plan out meals.
Yes.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe go through.
I think we should, because.
And I think when we do the calendar, we should go through some of these recipe books.
Well, you and I need to go on a diet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not so much because we need to go on a diet, more like we need to eat healthier.
Yeah.
So,
which would help with our health?
Yeah. Because we're eating healthier.
Right. No, I get it.
No, but seriously, I mean,
and maybe
we need
by
to
structuring,
just get back to,
right, and maybe by
get back to doing that.
Structuring that will help us.
Sure.
Do that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
But, so anyway, you can message us on Facebook. You can also send email to joelmichalecradio@gmail.com and tell us, how do you plan out your meals? Especially if you're working, you're running around, you're doing all these things. How do you accomplish what you're sitting down and having at the table at night? Even though we're on our own now, the kids are gone.
Right. And
it's still difficult.
That's the other thing. What is your family structure like? Do you have one child? Do you have a bunch of children?
Right.
Or is it just you? Is it just you and your significant other?
And if it is, just the two of you, where do you buy a half a loaf of bread?
Right.
That's another whole topic.
But, if you think about it, we could do what we do for our rolls.
Oh, yeah, yeah. But you can't do that for everything. I'm talking about everything.
No, I know, but I'm talking about bread.
Right, I know, and that works.
Right.
But when we go shopping, there's a lot of things where we find that we have to buy so much of when we just want half of that.
True.
So.
That's true.
So your thoughts are welcome. Send them on Facebook. Send them through the email. And we'd like to hear what you guys are doing. Remember, the website is joelmichalec.com. And it's on there. So
just click that little button.
Right. Later on the program, a new hero, a new Wombat. And we're going to cut out of here and take a quick break and come right back.
All right.
After this.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable. But how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
I did.
I hope so.
Welcome back to the Joel Michalec Show. JoelMichalec.com, that's the website. And from there, you can do all kinds of things like listen to the show, subscribe to the show, and now listen to our 24/7 streaming station.
Absolutely.
Nothing but Joel Michalec Show.
And
Joel and
Sharen.
Yeah.
Right? That's awesome.
But why your eyebrows down, though?
They're not down.
It's a sign of...
Now, look, you got me looking weird now, because now my eyebrows are all the way up to my hairline. So they're not like, ow. So they're not down.
During the break, I was flipping through that book.
Okay.
And I found two words together that should never, ever, 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 ever be together.
I'm afraid.
Salmon loaf.
Salmon loaf.
No,
yeah.
never.
That's what's for dinner tonight.
See, this will be one of those times where I'm not in this house for dinner then.
No, my mom used to make salmon loaf,
Oh, my God.
but she used to use the salmon out of a can.
I would leave the salmon in the can. And I would have meatloaf.
It was so gross, I have to say.
See?
Like, that alone killed me for salmon. I like seafood, but that alone killed me for salmon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
So no salmon for you.
At Facebook is at JM Talk and Twitter WQIB Radio. And I cannot even believe this is a debate, but now there's this big social media debate about how many Chuggas come before the Choo-Choo.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's chugga chugga choo-choo.
That's what you
it's two.
And I'm saying
Chugga,
it's three.
Chugga two.
Chugga 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 choo-choo.
No,
That's what it's... Yeah.
Chugga chugga choo-choo. That's how it is.
Well, here's the background on it.
Oh, God.
A Reddit user recently posted a seemingly innocent question to the subreddit Too Afraid to Ask, and blew it up into one of the greatest debates in social media time.
Wow.
How many Chuggas are you supposed to say before Choo-Choo?
And the number is 2.
He says, I've always said 2, but now my kid is saying 3. However, my kid's preschool teacher says 1, and it pisses me off that there aren't enough Chuggas for a chew. How's the train supposed to go anywhere? So it can't be Chugga-Chew. It needs more than one Chugga to get the chew going.
Wow. Okay.
So the question immediately sparks some pretty fervent responses.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
There
is no debate.
One of the most popular
2.
comments cited the importance of the Batman theme song to this particular situation. Quote, my rules is the same number of Chuggas as we do for the Batman cartoon theme song. Na 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 Batman. Soon after this comment was made, the consensus seemed to be that 8 was the optimal number of Chuggas for perfect Chugga-Choo-Choo proportions. Others felt that 8 Chuggas were way too many, and for the sake of brevity, 4 was sufficient. Chugga, 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 choo-choo. Yeah, I guess.
Still 2.
A diplomatic soul came up with a compromise between 2 most popular answers. More specifically, always multiples of 4, depending on how far you need to pretend that your train is moving.
Or how fast it's pretending to move.
Right. While 2 commenters tried to break everything down into a very complicated but solid math joke.
Gotcha.
If 2 trains leave the station at the same time, travel in opposite directions, and one travels at 4 Chuggas per choo-choo, and the other 12 Chuggas per choo-choo, how long till they are 4 choo-choos apart? Then somebody replied to that and said, I am going to assume that you meant time taken for the trains to be 4 Chuggas apart and not 4 choo-choos apart, because choo-choo is clearly a time limit. So we have train 1's position defined as, and then they did math. Look at this. They did mathematical equations and everything.
Wow.
In other words, the time it takes one full choo-choo to happen, both trains will be 16 Chuggas apart.
What?
One thing everyone could agree on was that the teacher's preference for 1 Chugga before choo-choo was absolutely wrong. So, there was really no final say in this debate on Reddit.
Yes, there is a final say.
Your final say is not enough. It's got to be 3.
No, my final say is the final say.
It's got to be 3 Chuggas.
I don't think you understand me.
I mean, just look, chugga chugga choo choo, chugga 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 choo choo. See, it even makes a better choo choo sound after 3 Chuggas. Chugga chugga choo choo or chugga 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 choo choo. See
how you?
Because the 3rd Chugga gives it that choo choo.
Okay.
You don't get it?
Oh my God.
You don't say it.
Look, I'm losing my mind officially. I am losing my mind.
No, losing your mind is when we have to sing Baby Shark all day. That is mind losing.
Baby
No.
Shark, do, 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 do. You know, this is, okay.
Feed you to the shark.
You brought up Baby Shark, okay?
I did.
We had our grandson yesterday, and he loves Baby Shark, okay? So, being the great-grandfather that he is, Joel would incorporate anything in place of Baby Shark. He would say, Mammy Shark, do 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 do. Mammy Shark, do do
or
do
Molly
do,
Shark.
Or Molly Shark, do 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 do. Or Poppy Shark, do 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 do. So, yeah.
You see my eyeballs spinning real fast?
No, they don't. But, oh my God, it's so funny, guys, to see Joel with our grandson. It is hilarious. He's just so... They get along together so well.
Until he misbehaves.
And then you yell at him and scare the poop out of him. I
don't think you got to change his diaper any more than usual. But the funny thing, we had the kids Friday night for a little bit too. So we stopped at Acme because we didn't know we were having for dinner on Friday night.
Right.
Rolling back, remember that?
From work, right.
So we were in Acme, or depending on what part of the country, it might be Jewel or it might be Albertsons. But we were in line, and I guess you found a piece of food or something in Victor's ear.
Yeah.
So you're trying to clean it out, and you're like, what do you have in your ear? And he says, Baby Shark.
Yeah.
So.
That was funny.
So anyway, here's my final word. Chugga, 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 choo-choo.
Chugga,
3
chugga,
chuggas.
choo-choo. Chugga,
Prove
chugga,
it.
choo-choo.
I'll tell you what, show that.
Chugga,
show
chugga,
me
choo-choo.
Show me the concrete proof that it's 2 chuggas to a chew.
Okay.
Chew. 2 chuggas to a choo-choo.
Okay, let me get to my iPad. I'll show you. Chugga, chugga,
Well,
choo-choo.
until I see definitive proof, I'm going with 3 chuggas.
Okay, you go with 3 chuggas,
Okay.
and I'll go with 2.
I will. I'm going with 3 chuggas.
All right.
So there. Earlier this week on our Facebook page, I posted a video from, I think it was New York, of a guy kicking an old woman in the face on a train. Oh, it was
my God.
terrible video. It's out everywhere. Made it all the way down here to Philadelphia, and they're trying to get this guy. Now, as of podcast time, we don't know if he's been caught or not. I hope he has.
Right.
But here's the thing. I didn't post it saying, hey, let's help find this guy. I posted it as in, look at all these people filming and watching this lady get kicked in the face.
And nobody doing anything.
By this piece of shit. That's why I posted that.
Right.
And I think that there should be some punishment for that.
Yeah.
You know, a couple years ago, a meme intended to be funny came out on social media, and it was, if the Titanic had sunk today. So it was a graphic with the boat half sunk, and all these survivors floating around in the water, and they all had their cell phones up filming the ship sinking.
Right.
With people still on deck. That's not funny anymore, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
People would rather film than help.
Right. And that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Come on, put your phone down and help the poor woman.
Yeah, this happened on a bus or a train or something like that, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And then he just, gets done and he walks by all the cameras and, out the door.
Yeah.
So, yeah, society.
That is ridiculous.
It is. So, I posted it for that reason. I mean, we have just, we're letting technology take us to a really dangerous place.
I agree with you.
And
I don't agree with you a whole lot. I'm not trying to be funny. We have different opinions about a lot of things.
Yeah.
You and I. But that's what makes us mesh so well. Because we respect each other's opinions.
Right.
But I forget where I was going with that.
I had said that we allow technology to take us to some really dark places.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, in this example, all the technology going into autonomous driving cars.
Right.
The AI taking over a lot of jobs. It's for me, it's too far, too fast. And and if all you got to do if you're sitting there saying, what does he mean? Think about where we were 30 years ago.
I know. You didn't have a cell phone in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You didn't have 3 computers in your house plus 2 iPads and,
Mobile
3 more
phones,
phones and,
It's amazing.
Flat screen TVs that can go on the internet.
Our iPhones are computers. These iPads are computers.
Yeah.
And then you have a computer. I have 2 computers. That doesn't count my MacBook or my Linux computer.
Right.
But I have 2 Windows 10 computers.
He's ridiculous.
Plus those MacBooks down there.
He is so ridiculous, people. I'm telling you.
If you move that curtain
It's
in that
funny.
box there's another desktop behind there.
I know.
Well, listen, it's springtime, so maybe we'll get some stuff moved out of here or something.
That would be very nice.
I have 2 computers to recondition for sale. I mean, I have a lot going on.
You do. I bet you didn't know this room has a window.
I know it has a window. By the time I get the window cleared to open it, it will be too hot and the air conditioner will be running.
Right.
Because that's the problem. I don't know if it's the way our house sits or what, but we can open all the windows in this house in the springtime or the fall.
Right.
And we get no kind of breeze.
We don't. It's because of the placement of the windows.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, in relation to the wind.
Because we get nothing. We absolutely go from fireplace to central air to fireplace.
Right.
With maybe a week or 2 off in between.
Yep. That's why.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Crazy.
And this will be a busy spring too. It is spring today. I mean, we're doing the podcast and it's like 60-some degrees outside. You did some work outside.
Yeah, I did. I did some
work
pressure
in and out.
washing.
Yeah. I found out, folks, today. I found out there. You take for granted duct tape. I worked with duct tape today.
Not duct tape. Duct tape.
I worked with the tape that is used to reinforce ductwork. Put a new dryer vent on. It was quite interesting and quite sticky.
Yeah.
But I think we got the job done. I can't tell if I hear the dryer spinning or not.
I couldn't when I was out there.
Yeah, but I wonder if that means it conked out. I didn't hear a buzzer.
Oh, yeah.
I hope not.
Yeah.
We had to replace the ductwork on our dryer because the dryer was overheating. And the GE guy gave me 90 seconds of his time.
Let's not talk about that.
No, we have to talk about that.
We don't have time.
I have a few minutes to talk about this. So we have a warranty for our appliances, and GE came out, and this guy was very rude. We've had him here before, although he says he's never been here. He was rude then.
He was rude then.
And he comes in.
He was rude on the phone.
Yeah, he calls the night before, and he says, what's the problem? I said, it's overheating. You know what causes that? A couple things, I imagine, but no. Your duct is clogged. I'm like, no, the duct's not clogged. We're blowing air out the duct outside.
Right.
Perfectly fine. Well, you're clogged. I'm like, no.
Okay.
So he comes out the next day, and I leave work to come here for the appointment, and he's here not 2 minutes, and he says, you're not getting enough, it's not venting enough air. I'm like, if you go outside, you will see it is blowing massive air out the side of the house. Right. It's not enough. And he scrapes some lint off the seal of the door. See this? Do you know what that's from? Clogged vent. There's nothing else I can do for you. And he left.
Wow.
I paid $100 service fee for 90 seconds of his time.
And for him to say that.
What is that an hour?
So, all right.
$100 for 90 seconds.
Okay, so we've hired you to fix the problem.
Right, and he didn't.
Not to tell us, your vent's clogged. Unclog it.
And by the way, when I took the old vent off, which was not clogged, because we put a new vent on, I reached in as far as I could go inside the back of the dryer and pulled nothing out except that little thing that got caught up or whatever. But there's no lint in there. So
I need to get a hold of
GE Appliances.
GE Appliances.
Too. I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, it's Flash. Because he was in and out in a flash.
Wow, that's crazy.
GE Flash.
That's crazy.
So I am
He wasn't even there long enough to get his name.
So my current mood against GE Appliances and American Home Shield right now is pissed. It's the little red face on your iPhone.
Yeah, with the steam blowing out his head.
That's me. And the curse words across his mouth.
Right.
That's the new one.
Exactly.
That's
ridiculous.
There is actually a newer one. I saw it. There's a newer one.
Really?
Yeah. There's a newer angry face, and it looks like... Jeez. I'm clogged up these colds, man. Crazy. I've only had the cold for about a year. Oh, look. He's sweating or crying, and he's got his tongue hanging out. See?
That means he's hot.
Oh, my God. I just sent that to somebody. Oh, my God. I just sent that to one of my bosses. Oh, man. Oh, brother.
Yeah,
he'll be wondering what's going on over, what I'm mad about. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, I'll have to do some damage control now.
Right?
Maybe. No, it wasn't. He'll think I'm mad about something. He'll think I'm doing some work on his server. And I'm pissed off. That's what I think. But, although I accidentally sent another one, which was like a zipper across the face, a blue face, like he's freezing with a zipper across his mouth. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
cold and then I'm hot. I don't know. I'm cracking myself up over here. All right, well, I'll be back with a new Wombat, a new hero coming up after the break. And just a reminder, 24/7 Joel and Sharen. Available at jmtalk.net. See, I did it.
jmtalk.net.
I didn't even write a new paper to say that. I just remembered.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just remembered.
You're so awesome.
I'm telling you, I try. Anyway.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
So, don't go anywhere, or if you do, come right back within 90 seconds, that is. Because I'll be back.
Yeah, in 90
after that.
seconds.
After this.
Yeah.
After yeah.
Yeah.
Hit it.
This message is for all of you sitting in the passenger seat. And apologies if it gets a little uncomfortable, but how does it feel to be at the mercy of someone who thinks a random text is more important than your life? Someone who takes their eyes off the road while speeding along in a 3-ton hunk of steel. Freaky, right? Well, why not just ask them to stop? Or better yet, volunteer to text for them. It might be a little awkward, but believe me, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Broadcasting from a crummy little studio in Baltimore, Maryland. This is Reality One Radio.
You see why we need your donations?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's the Joel Michalec Show, and we thank you for being here on the podcast, and thanks for listening. And if you can't get enough of Sharen and myself in between the podcast, then you can just stop by the website, jmtalk.net, and you can click the 24/7 stream button, and that will take you to the 24/7 stream of all Joel Michalec shows. And that is sponsored by Reality One Radio, our affiliate partners. And that way you can get it on any browser. I mean, I was listening to it all day yesterday when I was working. I had it on. Is that narcissistic? I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, today or the day that the podcast drops, however you want to look at it, the 24th of March is National Cheesesteak Day. And that's where we celebrate the cheesesteak, which is like, I think it's like the official food of Philadelphia. But anyway, the cheesesteak, you know, it's got to be made right. There are parts of this country you cannot go to and order a Philly cheesesteak because it's not going to taste the same. Okay? Just a couple bullet points of history. The cheesesteak was created by Pat and Harry Oliveri, hot dog vendors, and they just so happened to put a steak on the grill. This happened in the 30s, the 1930s, almost 100 years ago. Nearly getting there. That's when it was born. In 1940, Pat's Steaks opens. The Oliveris open their now iconic South Philly restaurant, Pat's King of Steaks. And then in 1966, the beef wars begin. Gino's Steaks, they open up right across the street from Pat's, fueling a friendly rivalry that rages to this day. So that's a brief history, a timeline, if you will. And they're both different. I'm not sure what they're. I'm going to tell you something. As a native of the area, I've never gone to Pat's or Gino's. Okay, there are plenty of really good cheesesteak places out in the burbs where I live. So it's okay, where I've always lived. You know, when I grew up in Chester, we had 2J's. Amazing steaks. You had Di Costanza's. Amazing steaks. Claymont Steaks. Amazing steaks. And Frank's Pizzeria in Bear. Amazing steaks. There's always been places to get amazing cheesesteaks without having to go into the city. So, some suggested activities on National Cheesesteak Day. How can you celebrate National Cheesecake Day? National. Okay. All right, I'm mixing them up. Cheesesteak, not cheesecake, moron. National Cheesesteak Day. Well, this seems obvious, but eat a cheesesteak. Go out and get one. You know, sometimes the obvious answer is the best. Or you can roll up your sleeves and make your own. Sharen and I make cheesesteaks at home all the time. We make cheesesteaks, cheesesteak quesadillas, cheesesteak stuffed peppers. You know, you have a base there, cheese and steak, fried onions. You can do so many different things with it. You can visit the Cheesesteak Homeland. You can go and take the Philadelphia cheesesteak tours. Or don't. And just go on your own and try different places. But, you know, they say you should try Pat's and Gino's. I haven't, and I got to tell you, folks, I don't know if I ever will. I'm sorry, I'm drinking a lot of... It's a nice, beautiful spring, warm day. Now, another activity that they say, according to the National Day Today, nationaltoday.com, suggests trying a vegan cheesesteak. I would suggest to nationaltoday.com that they go get a CAT scan. I would never recommend a vegan cheesesteak. If you're a vegan, then I apologize. And the cheesesteak, don't make a vegan cheesesteak because you cannot fake a Philly cheesesteak. Okay, there's a certain way it's prepared and certain ingredients, and one of those ingredients, by God, is beef. So don't try a vegan cheesesteak. Don't try making a vegan cheesesteak. Or if you do, just don't, you know, I don't know. Well, you know. According to National Today, they said that you can try a cheesesteak made from mushrooms, vegetables, soy, wheat, nuts, or pretty much anything else imaginable that's not meat. I don't think so. I beg to differ. I think I have an argument for that. So, why do people love cheesesteaks? Well, first, I mean, food doesn't have to be fancy to be delicious. Okay? And cheesesteaks, Philly cheesesteaks, are messy and delicious. And they're a big part of the Philly culture. So, and it's the only acceptable time that you can use spray cheese. Okay? Because you have, when you go up to Philly, one of those two places, the aforementioned places, are going to be like, you want it with whiz or without? Whiz or without. And that means Cheese Whiz. So, me, I like it with like just a good American cheese. Sometimes a provolone if you want it to be a little smoky. You can change that up. But I don't like the ones made with the whiz or the cheese sauce. A little bit too messy for me. But anyway, so there you have it. It's Cheesesteak Day. Get in on the fun. Anyway, we have a new Wombat and a new hero this week. So let's move right into the Wombat. Now, you can get in on the fun by submitting your Wombat of the Week story to the show. Simply email the link to a news story of stupid people doing stupid things to wombat@joelmichalec.com or joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. You can also submit your stories in a message on the Facebook page. So head on over to @JMTalk on Facebook and get me those stories. And we'll put them out. Sometimes we put 2 or 3 out in a week. Well, I think we've done it once. We put 2 out. So don't get your hopes up too much. I don't know. But anyway, so this week we head to Michigan. Detroit, to be exact, where WDIV in Detroit reports that an incident occurred Tuesday morning at a home in Detroit. Police arrived there and they found a 50-year-old man with a bullet wound in his foot. So what he told police was he saw a cockroach in his house and he threw his shoe at it hoping to kill it. However, he forgot that he put his gun in his shoe, and when he threw it, the revolver fell out and went off. And that's when he got shot in the foot. So, I don't know if the shoe was on the foot, or maybe it was on the other foot. Anyway, how do you forget that you put a gun in your shoe? I don't know if he was wearing it, or if he just picked it up to throw it. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. If I see a roach, I'm not going to pick up an empty shoe to throw it, because I would be now fearful that there are more in my shoe. You see what I'm saying? So, if he was wearing it, how did you not know your revolver was in it? But anyway, so yeah. So he shot himself in the foot while trying to throw a shoe at a roach, which obviously the roach got away. So the roach won. It's just another slash on the side of scoring for roaches. I mean, they say they'll live through anything. Apparently, they'll live through a wild shooting and shoe throwing in a Detroit, Michigan home. So they can chalk that up on the board for themselves. So according to the Detroit Free Press, they say that the man was taken to the hospital as in stable condition. So, I don't know. I know that if this were me and this all happened, the first order of business when I got home, okay, now I understand he's in a wheelchair, is get somebody to clean the house. Because you have to look at all the obvious signs. But let me give you a hint. Diatomaceous earth is good stuff. And use it. I had recently found out, like 4 years ago, found out that farmers use it to kill all kinds of insects crawling around their gardens. And it's safe for livestock and animals. So, we think we had like a mouse running around or something. And I actually had to repair the dishwasher cord. We got lucky. Pulled the dishwasher out, or pulled the washer out, because the cord passed through there, and saw that. It was half chewed. I was like, oh my God, can you imagine if it got anywhere? But we had put down behind the appliances diatomaceous earth. We haven't seen anything, dead or alive. The theory is that rodents or insects or whatever walk through it, and it draws all the moisture out of their bodies. I mean, they'll walk through it, and soon after, wherever their final destination awaits, not too far along. And it's good stuff. But wow, I really didn't want to do this story, folks, because I hate creepy crawlers, but he shot himself in the foot. Anyway, I hope things get better for him. I hope he gets his problem straightened out. But in the meantime, I guess be careful where you put your gun. And that, his name's been withheld, which is good, because that means it doesn't go out on the air either. But he is, whoever he is the Wombat of the Week for shooting himself in the foot. There's so many cliches that can come out of a story like that. But anyway. So, okay. Now, our other segment is Honor Thy Heroes. This segment every week is really near and dear to us. We love doing this. And we love doing it from our hearts, but we also love doing it because we are putting the word out there. We're hoping that we're helping push these stories out across our social media outlets, and they do gain ground. We do see the impressions come in for these stories because there's not enough media outlets delivering such good news about first responders or anything else. And we have recently decided that we're going to start looking for some everyday non-first responder, law enforcement type heroes as we find them, as people send them in. You can send these stories to me at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear about heroes, from your local paper. We'll put it out there, man. We will. But in this case, this week's Honor Thy Heroes actually goes to Virginia, not too far from here. Hopewell, Virginia. Hopewell Fire Chief Donnie Hunter describes his split-second decision to save the American flag from its pole outside the Hopewell Moose Lodge as the building burned as feeling, quote-unquote, like the right thing to do. There is a viral video that we will be posting on the Facebook page, but the early morning fire destroyed the building that had been there for 60 years, home to the lodge number 1472. Chief Hunter said that he had made the decision after seeing the Moose Lodge flag fall off of its flagpole and into the fire. So he says when the flag dropped, that made us realize that the American flag and the Virginian flag were probably getting close to the same fate. And so Hunter, who was the one you'll see kneeling at the start of the video when you watch it if you haven't already, assisted in lowering the flag by firefighter Timmy Cibula. So they basically they saw what happened to the lodge's flag, and then they went and they got the American flag down. And the video is just amazing to watch the video and see what they did. And Hunter also says that 1 is a symbol of the country, 2 is a symbol of them to hopefully bring back to them some piece of the building that we were actually, when we were actually losing the firefight. The Moose is an important part of the community, and we were truly hoping to give them something back as part of the Moose, because they've done a lot for us. Now, when he says the Moose, he's referring to the lodge itself. Afterwards, after the fire, Hunter presented the flag to the lodge's governor, Brian Carpenter, and it turned into an emotional moment, turning the flag over and giving back that little piece of the lodge. So it was kind of poetic, and it went viral out over Facebook, which was really good. The Hopewell Fire Department serves a 10.8 square mile, and they got their video and information out there over social media pretty well. We're going to hope to push it some more, and to the volunteer firefighters in Hopewell who pulled that flag down and saved it from the fire. We honor you this week on Honor Thy Heroes, and we thank you very much for your service to that community and to the service of the people in your community, who I am sure are very grateful to have you guys. So, there it is from the from the Fire Nation, as it were, being an ex-volunteer firefighter myself. What a brotherhood. And in need of volunteers. I've actually been reading that volunteership is going down, and it's everywhere. I mean, here where we're at, anywhere you're listening. Think about it. You want to volunteer? Go talk to your local volunteer fire department, because there is apparently a shortage of volunteers who want to do that. I mean, I guess I was in there during one of the periods of hype. I know there was a big period of hype in, I want to say, the 70s, I think. I forget. But then, of course, I went in mid-80s and was in there till almost 2000. And, I call that the second wave, only from what I read in history. And I love reading the history of early starts of the volunteer fire service and the early days of firefighting. It's really interesting stuff. But that's our Honor Thy Heroes. And again, you can send those stories to me at joelmichalecradio@gmail.com. You have a story in your local paper of a hero. I want that story. And I'll put it on the air, and we'll put it on the social media, and we'll blast about it. So, so that's that. So keep an eye out for that. Also, a quick note, in final, we're actually, Sharen and I are working on some interesting different ways. This is a podcast, and I mean, when I take a break, when I ask you to stay tuned after the break, you're taking a 90-second break. I may have taken an hour break. I mean, that's one of the benefits of being able to do a podcast is we do it in segments, and we do some post-producing. We put everything together. And what that also means is we are developing, I say developing, we're thinking about, because there's already ways to do all these different things. We're going to get creative, because especially with the summer months are coming, and we do a lot of traveling on weekends when we can. And so we are going to be coming up with some new creative ways of putting together podcasts. They'll be delivered the same to you, obviously, but they may sound a little more interesting. They may be a little more interesting, and who knows? There's a lot of things that we can do, and this will be the summer of experimentation, because obviously we will be doing it that way. So stay tuned for more information about that. Not really for more information. Isn't that just something you say? Stay tuned for more information. The fact of the matter is, you'll know, because we're going to tell you what we're doing when we're doing it. So you really don't have to stay tuned for information about it. Stay tuned to find out, because it's just going to happen. So remember, joelmichalec.com is where to go. The easier way to get there is jmtalk.net. While you're there, subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss an episode when it drops each week. And if you want to hear more, and whenever you want, check out the 24/7 stream, which is running 24/7. And it's all Joel Michalec and Sharen. And I don't know, maybe we'll be throwing in some old stuff from the Behind the Mic show. I don't know yet. That's the crazy thing about it, right? It's a stream. We can do whatever we want. So who knows? But anyway, check all that out. Visit us on Facebook at JM Talk. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know that you're listening, and we'll be looking forward to visiting with you again next week. So be good, everybody, and we'll catch you next time on the show. Goodbye.